Hi there, Oz Konar here with Business Lending Blueprint. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps that will help you build a 7-figure business as a business loan broker. But before we get started, if you don't mind liking this video and subscribing to this channel, it will help me tremendously since that's the only way that I can reach people like yourselves who are interested in building a successful online business in this very niche industry. Let's get started. What do we mean by a 7-figure business? Well, the classic definition is if your business is generating more than $1 million a year, but the catch here is how much of that you're keeping in your pocket. I work with many restaurants in New York City, and I came across a lot of restaurants who generates millions of dollars in revenue. But did you know that the average profit to take home is less than 10% in some cases? So a restaurant that does $1 million a year, they might only be keeping, after all said and done, maybe a little more than $100,000. When you think about it on paper, you might be considered a multi-million-dollar business. Your take home is not more than someone who has a job. When I talk about business loan brokerage, if you structure it the right way, your profit margins are anywhere from 70 to 90%. So when you have a great year generating $1 million, that means you're pocketing $700,000 to $900,000. That's why this is the best business that I know of that you can start. But obviously, just like building any successful business, there are steps to it. In this case, there are 4 steps. The first one is your foundation. Your foundation is super important. Let's be honest, many people talk the talk. If you just talk to anyone on the street, they want to build a 7-figure business. I'm sure most of them would say, heck yeah, I want to be a millionaire. Of course, I would want to build a 7-figure business. But most people will not do what it takes to reach that level. Whoever reached $1 million or more in revenue in this business, any business as a matter of fact, they have a very strong why. They don't necessarily need to have a very strong why to build a $20,000 business. So you have to ask yourself if you have what it takes, if you have the tenacity to stay within one industry for 3 to 5 years to build it. So number 1 is the foundation. You got to clearly identify what your why is. Second one, you got to know what you're talking about. If you're going to play the 7-figure game, you can't be just offering merchant cash advance. You can't be just offering real estate. You can't be just offering equipment leasing. Will any of them take you to that level? Yes, but you need to have resources, and I'm going to talk more about it, that will allow you to have coverage on those products. Let's talk about it while we're at it. So let's say you specialize in real estate funding, but a customer comes to you and they need some kind of funding option that's a lot faster than real estate, right? Because a real estate funding option can take anywhere from a few weeks to sometimes 2 months. And while you're working on that deal, structuring that deal, if someone needs $50K, you need to be able to either help them with that, or if you chose to niche down in real estate, you must have partners or other colleagues who can help that merchant, so that merchant doesn't feel like for that product you're completely useless and they got to go to someplace else. Which brings us to number 3. So you might know about some lending options, but if you don't have lending partners or direct lenders who's going to fund those deals, what good is it that you know about products, right? Like you talking about an amazing car and keep pitching this car to someone who's looking for a car. When they're ready to buy, you don't have the car and you have no place to get the car to sell it to them. So why do we go through this whole process then if you cannot provide it to your customers? This is the same thing. If you have a coverage of about 10 different lending options, then you better have some lenders who can fund those deals. So when the customer says yes, you can take the deal immediately to one of those lending partners or direct lenders. Number 3 has 2 parts to it. One is direct lenders, right? So you work with either a wholesale lender or a direct lending partner whom you can send the entire file. They underwrite it, they get it back to you with a bunch of offers, you present it to your customer, and you fund it. So you're fully involved with the funding process. The second way to do that is have lending partners, meaning that they have access to hundreds of direct lenders and they do most of the work, meaning that your only focus as a business loan broker is finding the customer who has a need. You need to have partners who have access to those lending options. That's a way easier way to build this business because it takes time to get to know direct lenders. It takes time to have them work with you. They need to trust you. If you're building a 7-figure business, you will need to get to know a lot of lending partners. Whereas on this side, if you're working with a lending partner, you just focus on pushing customers over to them and they take over the process and reach out to customer, do the paperwork, get the customer funded, pay you your portion of the commission. Obviously, the difference is if you go direct, you keep most of the revenue. If you partner up with a lending partner, you're splitting the commission. Both of them are super profitable because if you're just starting out, it's going to be challenging to play the direct lender game because those relationships do take time. As you're learning the business, you're still getting paid. So number one was the foundation. Number two was knowing different lending options and being able to offer it to your customer. Number three is having the lending partners or the actual direct lenders. Number four is the marketing and automation. This is one of the most important steps because think about this. If you do not have your marketing or lead generation under control, you are going to be revert back to ancient strategies such as telemarketing, cold calling, buying mailing lists and trying to do direct mail, or hiring marketing agencies who never worked in alternative lending industry and paying them thousands of dollars to have them run marketing campaigns only to find out that they have no idea what they're doing. The one way you can tell someone doesn't know what they're talking about is if they're paying for data. Paying for live transfers, that's another one. It's a ridiculous one. Costs $50 to $100 per live transfer. What that means is a telemarketing company probably out of India or some other overseas country dials small businesses all day long, and if someone answers the phone, they go through their pitch, and if someone says, yes, I'm interested in business loans, they immediately call you because you bought live transfers from them, and they put you on the phone with that person who just answered the phone, and they just happen to say yes to needing some funds. I hope that you see how ridiculous that is. These companies sell the same data, same customer to 10 other people. You have to adjust your marketing to the age that we live in, which is age of internet. You need to be able to consistently generate leads online. That's super important. Even if you haven't done it before or you have your old ways of doing things, it's not too late to switch it over to what is working consistently, because you cannot automate other things such as telemarketing or cold calling or buying data, because you always need more human element. But you want to build this business as lean as possible. If you do $100,000 a month, well, that's 1.2 million a year. You're a seven-figure company. Congratulations. But guess what? You have an office and you have 15 employees. So at the end of the month, how much profit do you think you're going to be keeping for yourself if that's the case? Very little. You just built yourself a full-time job working for yourself. That's probably the main reason that you left a corporate job, because you didn't want to have a job. You need to have control over online marketing and lead generation. Since the product you're selling, I always say this, the sexiest product on earth, you're providing money to business owners, whether you use Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Yelp, I don't know, Yahoo, whatever channel that you're using, you can be successful at it, because there are literally hundreds of millions of people out there who either want to start a business, who want to save their existing business, want to grow their business, or they want to invest into more real estate, right? So you're not going to have a shortage of those people anywhere. So no matter what channel you're using, you're able to reach those people. The only caveat that I would mention, don't try to dominate the entire social media channels. This is one common mistake that I see. Someone who's ambitious, they just want to be everywhere. They want to have a marketing campaign on Instagram, then Facebook and Google and LinkedIn all at once, and they have expertise in none of them. If you just spread yourself too thin, then you end up being bad at all of them. And that's why you hear things like, oh, I tried it all and none of them works. That's the biggest lie that entrepreneurs tell themselves. There's no way you have tried everything. You don't know 98% of how to use this platform. For that reason, mastery is key. You have to focus on one channel initially, master that. That channel will take your business to a certain spot. Then you're going to have a lot of money. Then you can leverage your money to either hire people or the experts at what they do, so you can spread yourself to different channels, not the other way around. One mistake that I see also is that people start out, and let's say they have some money, they start hiring other people to do the job, but since they do not understand the platform itself, they can't manage those people. You can't manage something that you don't really understand. If you've never been on LinkedIn, how do you manage the performance of a LinkedIn lead generation company? They're going to just take a few months of your money and they'll tell you, hey, we tried everything and it doesn't work. You didn't know what you were doing to hold them accountable. So it's really, really important that if you're going to build a seven-figure business, you need to pick one channel, master that, make a lot of money doing so, then move on to the other channels. At Business Lending Blueprint, obviously we do help you with all of that. That's what we're known for. Today, I wanted to share you the 4 steps to building a seven-figure business as a business loan broker. If you haven't done so, like this video and subscribe to our channel, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Take care now.